me up some.
And we won't have to cry no more.
Yep.
Okay, what's happening? I don't even talk like that. It is April 29th, day 10. Do you hear me? Today I went to a event, a community event where I had the opportunity to be a vendor, and I'm so gracious for the opportunity because then it led to more opportunities. And now I have an event coming up at the end of May. A blessing, right? So I'm excited for that. But let's get into what Spirit has guided me to do today because I'm emotional. This got me emotional. Yesterday when I posted that video, it was about the movie The Overcomer, and I was telling my mom, and I had my mom watch the video, and yesterday after that, Spirit was like, the war room, and I was like, okay, we'll get to that. We'll see why I'm about to say what I'm saying now. Told me to watch the war room because I was instructed to pray for somebody that I'm currently not in communication with like I used to be, right? So whatever the case may be, they said the war room, watch that, and to pray for them. So I showed my mom the video. She was like, yeah, Cheryl Pryor, she also created the war room. And I said, what? I said, that's crazy because Spirit was guiding me to watch the war room tonight. So when I get home, I'm definitely going to watch it now. So nonetheless, I'm not married by any means. I'm not even close to being married, but Spirit told me to deliver this message, and hopefully it resonates for somebody. In season of separation, you don't stop praying for your significant other. You pray more. Yesterday, I was upset. I was disappointed. We had a falling out. We're in a rough patch. We're in a rough season. And Spirit was like, pray for him. My ego was like, pray for him. I said, Spirit, you not see how he's acting? Do you not see how he did me? I went off. And God was like, and that's going to stop you from praying for him? In season of despair, in season of not being in alignment with each other, you don't stop praying. If anything, you pray more. There is trouble in your marriage, you seek the kingdom. There is trouble in your relationship, you seek the kingdom. You seek me first. And I didn't do that. I went with ego. I was like, I ain't praying for him. It's not godly, I know. Don't get on me. And I was coming from a place to hurt. I was like, he hurt me. He don't deserve my prayers. Spirit was like, how dare you? You disappointed me, and do you not deserve my blessings? Zipped it. Zipped it right there. Because that is so true. Because of the person I love hurt me, I'm about to pull back my spiritual connection to him. Spirit's like, no. In season of separation, you pray more. I remember it was a time when he was in the hospital, and he told me he was in the hospital, what was going on, and Spirit instantly said, pray. So I was laying in bed because it was late, and I was like, all right, Spirit, I'll pray for him tomorrow. Spirit was like, no, you pray now. I remember that very moment I got up and I went so deep into prayer. And I was like, Spirit, I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm praying for. Of course to pray for his health, but what do you actually want me to say? And at that very moment, I just let it go and let God guide me into prayer for him. And I sent him this voice message. And I was like, listen, I couldn't go to sleep. You told me that she was in the hospital. And I just simply said, okay, right? But I know that Spirit places me in this person's life to be whatever they need me to be at that given time. And at that given time, he needed to be prayed over. So I sat there instantly and I started praying, and I sent him the voice message. And I remember that for whatever reason, they was going to keep him X, Y, and Z, and he told me what it was, and he was like, I just want to go home, I just want to get discharged. So I was praying in heavy prayer for him, and I'm thankful next, of course he went home. But it just reminded me, like, God doesn't, it doesn't matter what that person did. It doesn't matter how they treated you. Spirit is like, you pray for them, and you pray for them heavy, because Courtney, you are a prayer warrior. Your prayers move mountains. I have seen it with my own eyes. Spirit told me what I was. Spirit allows me to see, hey, this is what this person needs, and this is how you can assist. I never prayed so much in my life than I have within these past few years. Not only praying for myself, but having the capability to pray through others and see things shift and see things change. It lets me know prayer is real. I remember one time going through a tough patch, and I was upset. I was crying. Put on music, and I started worshiping. And I remember he walked in the room. I never asked him, how did that make you feel? To see a woman praying for you like that. Like, I do want to ask him that one day. Like, see the woman that loves you so much in heavy prayer for you. But anyway, so during this season, guys, like, I don't care what he did. I don't care what he said. I don't care how he is acting. I am working on you in this season, right? And remember that you are their prayer warrior. You are their partner. You are their love, regardless of how they may mess up. That doesn't stop you from being who you are. And when I was having this conversation with God, I was like, dang, like, he chewed me up and spit me out. And I was like, because I told his brother, it's him. He said, do you not do wrong too? And I was like, what the hell do I do? Prime example. And he gave me this example. This is a true story. I remember not too long ago, him showing me extra affection and him showing me love, right? And I remember at that very moment, I was like, oh my gosh, this is too much. Because I'm not used to being very affectious, right? I'm not used to that. And as much as I loved it, it was also uncomfortable for me because I didn't necessarily know how to respond, Here he is showing acts of love, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Like, you get what I'm saying? So then I remember us laying in bed together, and I remember his heat, and it was making me uncomfortable. I was pulling away from him, and I was just uncomfortable, right? And I was like, God, I don't know if I can do this. I told Spirit while I was laying next to that man, and I said, God, I don't know if I can do this. He said, okay. Gone. Separation. And I was just like, wait a second. Like, he said, no, because this union, your marriage, your relationship is nothing to toy with, especially if that is one that is of God. I told him, I said, gone. And I regretted that because I love this person so much. But God was like, I'm not going to allow you to play with them. And vice versa. Vice versa. I had been pulled from his life quickly. And I was like, well, wait a second. He said, because they weren't ready. They wasn't doing what I called them to do. And like this, when you're not doing what I call you to do in this union, I'm going to pull you out of that because you're not going to ruin what is divinely guided and divinely planned. So I say all this to say, you don't stop praying for somebody because they upset you or they hurt you. You pray more. And in the season of selfishness, me being selfish, in the season of me living in my ego, I stopped praying for him. If you love somebody, I'm going to continue praying for him. That was where I messed up. And God checked me yesterday. He was like, how dare you tell me you're not going to pray for this man that you prayed for? He said, you as a divine feminine, you as a future wife, you as a mother, You are a prayer warrior. Divine masculine. It sounds like his bike. Divine masculine lead in the physical, but we lead in the spiritual realm. You are the nurturer. You are the lover. And it's like, no, you pray. You pray. You pray for what they need, guidance, clarity. And I stopped. And in this season, he's like, don't stop praying for him as you continue to work on you. I remember God telling me, like, don't worry about some things. Like, things will be brought to light in this relationship, in this friendship, whatever. And they have. I knew that it was something special between me and this guy because he's the first one I call for anything. Or not necessarily I don't call him, but he's my safety person. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, if I can't fix it, I know he can fix it. Like, if nobody else, he has the answer. Like, whatever, it could be so small, he has the answer. And that's comforting to me because normally everybody comes to me for the answers, but I'm like, I don't know, I gotta ask such and such. Like, I need the answers, I need help. Or learning how to comfort me in my state of mental chaos. I knew that as well. But it was just one time where I was asking him for months to take me somewhere. It never happened. Just never happened. And for my birthday, I was supposed to go out to dinner with this guy. And it didn't happen. And the guy that I'm referring to, he was out of town. And when he came back, he made reservations for my birthday. And everything I wanted to do for my birthday, I did it with him. My plans didn't work out for my birthday at all. But he fixed it. He didn't even know what happened for my birthday. He didn't, nevertheless did he care. But that's how I know God has a blessing. And I told him, I said, everything I wanted to do for my birthday, you've done. You did it for me. You know, we take the bad times and we dwell on that, but we forget that when this marriage, this relationship is divinely guided by God and by Spirit, you go to them first when you're having marital problems. You don't just run to a therapist, you know. And if you, while you're praying, God's like, I need y'all to seek therapy. I need you to go see somebody about this, you know. But God's like, always come to me first. And in this season, I was coming from a hurt place, and Spirit was like, you do what you do best. You pray, and I will guide you through this. And I was like, but I just had to go. I kept going back. Like, don't you see how they're acting? He was like, I don't care what they're doing. It doesn't stop you from doing your job. You pray, and you pray hard. And the War Room kept coming up. So, of course, I'm going to watch it tonight. But God will always see you through. If it's meant for you, it is meant for you. God will reveal it to you. And if it's not, then it will go away and you'll get better. But as long as I am obedient, as long as you are obedient within this season, you will reap your harvest. Because I told you, I'm being obedient this season. I'm just like, okay, yes, God, you tell me to pray for this man, I'm going to pray for him. You know? And it wasn't like pray for this union, but pray for him and his mental capacity. Pray for him in distractions. And he was like, because people don't want to see something beautiful, a blessing come together. They want to tear it apart. They want the distractions to come in. And the devil knows just how to get that person distracted. They know just how to get you distracted with your insecurities and your low self-esteem and you dwelling on past situations. It's just like, no. No. If you believe in God, you believe in this. I had to stop myself from being filled with ego, because that's not unconditional love. You know, just because you hurt me, I say I'm gonna stop praying for you. That is so selfish, and that should never have came out my mouth, but it did, and I can keep it 100% with you. As much as I was looking at the other person and how they were responding, what they were doing, but I wasn't looking at me and my flaws and what I was doing and how I was coming off. Because, honey, I'm a strong black woman, and I don't fight. I go around, you know. But your partner needs to know, like, hey, I'm fighting with you. I'm not fighting against you. It is us against the world. It is us against these negative energies. God will always see y'all through when it's divinely guided. I don't know. I'm just listening to what Spirit tells me to do, and I'm gonna keep it going. But seriously, I'm learning that it wasn't all that person. It was me too. It was my fear of commitment, you know. Can I actually do this? And I keep saying, like, God prepared me to be a wife. And he's like, do you really want that? I was like, I think I'm ready now. You know, I would say I'm ready, and then I would back down. I would say I'm ready, I'm back down, you know. But seeing it now, it's just like, yeah, I can do this. Full force, being obedient within this season to bring me into alignment to my next, you know, chapter in life. And that means praying for your kingdom spouse, praying for your future husband. Whatever you need, allow God to be whatever you need him to be. And they always say, like, he's not yours until you give him back to the Lord. If it's meant to be, let Spirit work on your spouse. And men too, let Spirit work on your wife. You know, because if it's too soon, it's not going to work. Because y'all both have healing to do. Being in a relationship can be beautiful, but there has to be some mutual understanding, and that has to be that Spirit comes first. God comes first in our relationship. We are so used to toxic relationships, the arguing, the chaos. That's not love. Let's communicate. Let's talk about this relationship. Let's talk about the miscommunication. You know, let's take it back to God. When's the last time have you read a Bible with your significant other? When's the last time have you all prayed together? In the midst of an argument, do we say negative things? Because I have yet to really argue with this person. I don't even know what it is like to argue with you, because Spirit will not allow me to do that. And there's been times I've been like, Lord, I'll be like, yo, I just wish you, and I would instantly bump my head or something. He'd be like, see, God don't. But we had that mental thing together. And I just know, like, when I don't do my part in this friendship, in this relationship, it shows. It shows. But we're going to see after what happens when I watch The War Room, and I continue these talks with God, and I continue to pray, because he's moving mountains in my life so I can help move mountains in others. So I'm excited to watch this movie tonight. I might cry. So we're going to see, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow. So I love y'all. Have a good night.